Hi there. In today's lesson, we will review Procter & Gamble's Interactive Assessment. You will learn about the different games it includes and how to prepare and maximize your score potential on this assessment. Let's start. P&G's online assessment is split into two parts. The first one, known as Peak Performance, is a comprehensive behavioral and work style assessment. The second part is known as the Interactive Assessment, and it measures cognitive ability. The Interactive Assessment will be the focus of this video, since preparing for it in advance will result in great improvement. In the Interactive Assessment, you'll have to complete 3 game-like tests that measure numerical reasoning, logical reasoning, and working memory, which are all universal indicators of cognitive ability. Let's have a closer look at the numerical reasoning game, known as the Digit Challenge. The time limit here is 5 minutes, and the test is adaptive, which means the questions will increase in difficulty if you keep answering them correctly. You are presented with mathematical equations and are asked to fill in the missing numbers that can lead to the result on the right. The tricky part about this game is that you can only use each of the digits once. Although the equations involve just 3 basic operations, which are addition, subtraction, and multiplication, the exercises are very challenging and require a few skills, among which are estimation of quantities, mental calculations, and fast response times. If you answer very few questions on this test and remain at the lower difficulty levels, your percentile score will be low, and this can lead to being disqualified from the application process. However, practicing your math skills in advance can lead to amazing improvements in your performance. Our prep games will get you used to the game's flow, and they will provide you with solving strategies and shortcuts. Check out the links in the description of this video. Now let's move on to the Switch Challenge, which measures deductive logical reasoning. The time limit here is 6 minutes, and this test is also adaptive. You need to follow the changes in locations of the shapes at the top of the funnel and to find which operator can rearrange the shapes to look like the bottom set. In this very simple example, we can start with the yellow circle in cell number 1. The middle operator leaves this yellow circle in the same position as it was, which is first from the left. This corresponds with the bottom set, in which the left shape is again a yellow circle. We can see that there are 2 potential operators that we need to keep examining until we find the right one. If we move on to the next shape in the top set, the square is designated the number 2. In the middle operator, it is moved to the 4th spot, making it 4 from now on. However, when we look at the 4th cell in the bottom set, the square is not there. This disqualifies this operator from the list, so we can safely choose the operator on the right as the correct answer. Just like in the Digit Challenge, the tasks will become more and more difficult if you manage to answer the questions correctly. More layers of operators will be added, and this will require examining multiple operators and multiple combinations, which is very time-consuming. If you keep getting the more difficult questions wrong, you'll be taken back to previous levels and your score will remain low. Here again, our games can help you train on these skills to get a better score on the Switch Challenge. We move on to the third and last game, which measures working memory and is known as Grid. It's based on a known psychological test called NBAC. You'll be asked to memorize the location and order of appearance of highlighted dots on a grid. The twist is that you'll be interrupted with other tasks during the appearance of those dots. The test includes 3 sessions of 3 minutes each. For example, in the first round, you're presented with a collection of dots, and you have 3 seconds to memorize the location of one highlighted dot before the screen disappears. Then you have 8 seconds to answer a spatial reasoning task. You need to determine whether the 2 images are symmetrical or not. Now the same collection of dots appears again, and another dot is highlighted. You again have 3 seconds to memorize its location. This process will repeat, and then in the end you will have the recall part, in which you must choose the dots in their order of appearance. The good news is that you will see great improvement in your performance if you train in advance for these tests. In particular, the numerical and logical reasoning games, known as Digit and Switch. Pre-exposure to the test's materials and timeframes will eliminate the element of surprise and will increase your overall confidence. You'll have the opportunity to grab time-saving techniques, and you'll have a better understanding of how to navigate this test as a whole. Just beware that once you take the assessment, it will be valid for 12 months with no retake options. That's another motivation factor to prepare for the assessment and assure that you're doing your best. You should start training for this test in advance. Facing this test without prior practice can be overwhelming. Whether you have a week or just 24 hours, every training session counts and can get you closer to your maximal score potential. The good news is that we can help you improve your performance with game simulators that will train you on the same skills. In particular, the games will get you to master the Digit and Switch challenges, which, as mentioned before, require the most preparation in advance. Check the link in the description below to learn more about how we can help you prepare for this test.